Hello, guys. Bring the volume down. So, is the altcoins killing Bitcoin? Is it alt season? Is it finally going to come? Is the time we spent waiting for this now finally going to start paying off? So, today we're going to look at this. Let's quickly take a recap of what was said during the week. Okay, so I explained to you guys, and maybe let's take the audio down. Let's get serious for a second. I showed you guys that Ethereum to the BTC pairing is about to bounce. The bounce is based on hidden bullish divergence that I've shown to you guys. Now I've deleted my own line. Let's just bring it back real soon, quick. Okay, so that was based on that analysis, and the bounce played out nicely. Does it mean it's alt season? Because I see there's a lot of bullish guys out there. So if you're bullish, send me I am a bull in the chat. Let's quickly see. Let's quickly see how many. I see Damien is already saying, is the pullback cancelled? So Damien, I'm going to try and answer that to you today, and so forth. Okay, what else happened? I said to you guys, if this happens, if Ethereum bounces as it is, what's going to happen to Ethereum's price? It's going to break out of this resistance. This resistance, similar to what Link did, okay? So that was Link at that stage, breaking out. So the conclusion with this was that if we break through, 2 is going to turn to 3K. 2 is going to turn to 3K quickly. Okay, so that's the reality. That's something there. So now let's see. I'm a bulls. I'm a bearable. I like that one, Sam. I'm a bearable. I'm also a bearable. Okay, so today, off the back of all the green, everybody's happy. The market is so bullish. Everybody's greedy, and I'm so happy because I missed this feeling, where everything is just going to start falling into pieces, into place, and things are going to get better. But there's a few things that I need to share with you guys. Because remember, I said to you, I expect this daily time frame Bitcoin chart to do this, go higher. I also pointed out to you guys that as it's going to do that, look at that. Okay, so there is always a silver lining for a dark cloud, as I would say. And for the bears, that's their silver lining. Is it going to happen? Is the pullback going to happen? This and a lot more after this. And if you're watching from my Twitter page, please, guys, head over to YouTube for the rest of the stream. Do your hodl bags a favor and subscribe today. Double down, hit that like and notification icon, and let's get charting. Okay, so nice thing that Bitcoin is rallying up, it's pushing up to the upside. And we also saw this yesterday as price was going up with Bitcoin. There was a big flush open interest got wrecked. So this is really good. This is actually really good, which means that a lot of those that was trying to get in on the move got liquidated in that little wick, and now they have to buy back. They have to buy again. They have to actually put their money where their mouth is again. So there's some trends here that I want to show you guys on the open interest. But now let's take a deep breath, take a little bit of a chill pill, if you would want to say, because when things gets bullish like it is now, the market tends to lose its objectivity, because that feeling like, oh, everybody's buying, man, why am I still sitting on the side, or, that type of thing. So those things do play and do have an effect in the market. So from a weekly point and from a weekly time frame, RSI divergence there's not that much that I can point out to. But remember that I just want to show you guys that we have a little bit of a framework in which we can start basing our decisions on. That framework is very simple. When we look at the previous time we were in this range, the last time Bitcoin went above $30,000, what happened? It created a lateral range because people were thinking here it was too expensive, and here they were thinking it's cheap. So we had that same problem there where they were thinking that it's too expensive. They didn't have confidence. And now they're changing their mind. That's the thing about technical analysis, why it's not an exact science. Because what looks nice today, people can change their mind tomorrow, and you need to be able to adapt to that. Okay, so when people are bargaining or negotiating around price, we normally want to meet each other halfway. So I want to meet you halfway, meet me halfway, and then we've got a deal, which means if we look at this from this range point of view, halfway is there. So the last time people were too scared to buy is still sitting at $60,000. So when we're there will be that psychological hesitance. The last time people burned their fingers. And typically, which means that that memory is still in the market, because this is actually just a record of everybody's memory, what they felt and how they acted on that. And that's why I'm saying we could potentially keep on going higher. Is the dip canceled? Well, maybe not. Let's go to the daily time frame now. Now, it's important that you guys remember the exact sequence of what I'm saying needs to happen in order for this to be something to take serious. I'm going to flip to the line tool and say to you guys, when we have divergence like this, okay, daily time frame, divergence like what we have now, it means that price goes on higher. And remember, the RSI works on closing price. So typically, that's what you would expect. Okay, so price goes higher, 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 but the RSI cannot follow anymore, which means that basically the buying that's happening, that's pushing prices, not being backed by a lack of selling pressure. It means that a lot of people are buying small amounts of BTC, small moves, and that's stacked against big sell orders that's happening in the market. That's why the RSI is saying that it's more weighted to the bears at this stage. Can be deleted, remember? Can be deleted. How would it get deleted? Well, typically, if price falls below the pivots, now that's a pivot. That's when the RSI turns direction. It pivots around. Okay, so when price falls below the pivot, that's when you need to take notice. So you don't need to worry about it. I'm not saying it's over. On the contrary, momentum is strong. Potentially it will last forever. But this is still a reality that we're at this leg that we're experiencing now. We're potentially at its end on the daily time frame now. And then for that, one good turn deserves another. This daily leg is potentially just going to need to have the same kind of retrace. Now, let's not forget about this. And it pains me to say this. I hate to be negative in a time like this, but it pains me to say that for the last 2 months, basically, we've just seen upside. So it's fair to say that at some stage, we're going to have a month or so worth of downside, just to make sure that the move is healthy. I also yesterday in yesterday's video explained to you guys how these pullbacks are going to happen during the cycle, and that things like a 30% or a 50% discount even on where prices are today could still be seen as bullish. Okay, so now let's move on. The roadmap that I'm using to kind of say to myself, be patient, the unpopular opinion, is the CME. Now, what does CME do? It's basically, it creates these gaps traded over weekends when price or big moves kind of rallies away from the futures market, the ETF market. And when that happens, big money will tend to drive price back to that area so they can get in on the momentum. So it's a nice cheat code for everybody out there. So if you're new to trading, you kind of want to find your, when is the right dip? When is price going to move? The CME gap chart, the CME futures chart is your cheat code. Let me explain. I'm going to take away the RSI. I'm going to say to you, look at every time you create a gap. Things might look as bullish as hell, but when you create a gap, price will try and fill that gap. Okay. When you create a gap, price will try and fill that gap. And normally from that gap on, it's going to decide how it's going to continue on off its momentum. So it's not a gap to gap reversal. It's just telling you that you've got a pin drop now in this chart that tells you that price is going to want to go there again. That's all that it's telling you. There's the 30K. It gapped like crazy. Price wanted to go there again. It didn't do it the next day, and it potentially will take days or even weeks on this end, but it will try and get there eventually. So now you've got this little cheat. So let's say maybe you're sitting on the side and say, I want to buy, but I'm not sure when or how. You know the following. Each and every time we've got a CME gap, price wants to try and fill that. Now, sometimes there is exception to the rule. It doesn't. And that's what we call risk. You run the risk of it not happening. But you need to decide whether the risk is worth the reward. And that's normally when we try and make decisions on what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm sharing. I'm just sharing what I'm going to do with you guys. So looking at certain risk areas, I have to weight the risk versus the reward. So looking at where we are now, with Bitcoin sitting at 37K and going higher, the risk is very high that price is going to want to come back to this area. So for me, the risk now is bigger than the potential reward, because if Bitcoin goes up from 37 to 42, it can still come back down. The odds that Bitcoin is going to go up to new all-time highs without any pullback is very low. It's there, there's a chance, but it's very low. So that's what I'm doing. So for me, the risk is still saying that I'm waiting for this beast of a move to just find some common sense before I decide what I will do. Okay, righto. Now, here's a little clue, something that can help us going forward. Keep an eye on this. Some coin analyze Bitcoin and the open interest. When we have Bitcoin price going up and the open interest doing the opposite, that tells you that people are getting trapped in the market. When's the last time we had that? Bitcoin price going up, open interest, I won't say going down in that sense, but then from that point on, divergence. Bitcoin price not getting anywhere, flush. Open interest is going up as more people were getting impatient, buying, thinking that now it's going to happen, massive liquidation. So are we setting up for something new like this, a new version of this, meaning that Bitcoin's going to grind, stay in these areas here, people are going to get in, and then eventually the open interest is just going to punish people. They're going to take profit on it? Definitely yes. Okay, so let's look at our legacy markets real quick, and I want to then move on to the alts, because that is how the things are going to change from now on. Because with the dominance breaking potentially down, it means the energy of what this YouTube channel always was is going to shift. Remember, we started at the height of the bull market, started the YouTube channel. And from that point onwards, everything just kept on going down. So from a long-term point of view, the alts didn't really matter much to me, because I know that first Bitcoin will move. We know this. We've seen this little schedule image pop up. This one. We've seen it many times. First Bitcoin will move, then Ethereum, then comes alt season. So we don't need to be rushing into this. We can let the market do its thing, because these seasons are not, it's not over in a day. It takes a couple of months. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove this to you as we go on. Okay, so back to the charts. When we look at Bitcoin price, what do we have? We've got Bitcoin going up, and we've got the RSI telling us that there's a potential reversal. And while that is happening, we've got the dominance coming down. So yes, micro alt season, check. I said it to you guys yesterday. But now if you look at this, when will the real alt season only play in? Well, same as for when we try and trade, there's the pivot. There's the height and the dominance. Once dominance goes below 51, that's the when really I think the alts are going to start popping. And it means that that's probably when the big cap's going to start moving and we're still far way off. To try and say exactly how that's going to happen, which day in the sequence, is actually immature or premature. Sorry, guys, my English letting me down again, of me to even speculate, because this can just do this. It can bounce on this level and go back up, and then all your dreams and hopes are flustered. And that bounce in the dominance could be Bitcoin retracing. And remember now, alts are pumping more than Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin retraces to 31K, it's probably going to lose about 8%, but the alts might lose 35%, which is going to put the dominance back in Bitcoin's favor. Okay, so that doesn't mean dominance going up. Doesn't mean that it's focused on Bitcoin's moving to the upside. It can go up when Bitcoin goes down as well. Okay, right. So that's the reality of where we are. So if you look at the dominance, things are really great. If you look at the risk model, there's still some risk, and there's a reason for us to be patient, waiting for alts to come back down. Now, let's take just a quick overall view on the daily market. And I just want to use this as a guide so you guys can put into perspective what it is we do, especially for those that are new, or for those that might not have seen any of the recent streams. Okay, simply put, strong bearish divergence off the back. That's where we sold the last time round. Okay, we tried to buy a continuation, it failed, and we bought these dips. I'm saying that at some stage we're going to go where that buy zone is potentially now sitting over there. Okay, 31.5, 31.7, thereabout. Okay, and these are all the other buy zones and sell zones that we used. Gave all these entries. I gave you these lows, I gave you these highs. So from this point of view, if you look at the supply and demand wave and how it functions for where Bitcoin is, let's just quickly look at the top of what Bitcoin is going through now. And let's put this in perspective. So I'm going to use this line. I'm going to move it to that point there. That's all. I'm going to zoom in. And we're about to hit that area. Now, what happens when we're there? Well, I can tell you, simply put, when we're within this band, that's when we get supply. Every time we're there, we get supply. The train's your friend until it bends, okay? So we're about in that band again, guys. So what if Bitcoin does this? Maybe it does this for the next 3 weeks. It's not a top signal, but if it does this and then goes back, okay? That's the reality of what we have, okay? So I'm sorry if it does not fit your narrative and you want to be too bullish, but I just need to just prove and show this little bit of just a little bit of a common sense. Let's just get back to, let's just get grounded. Okay, so now let's talk Dixie real quick before we go into alts, because there's a lot of alts I want to work through with you guys. I don't know what's cooking here. The Dixie is supposed to be selling off, but for some reason it is moving back into its previous range. So although the invalidation for this is sitting at 106, what does it mean if the Dixie does this? Top end of the range, bottom end of the range, and it gets back in that range. It's going to go to where? At least a half of that range and potentially fill these gaps. That could be the fuel we need to get our Bitcoin just a little bit of retrace that we're looking for. Not saying that it's bullish now. I'm just saying that that could still happen and that can give us the fuel that we need just to get that retrace. Now, these things are big machines, big cogs. They take forever to play out in the market. And we're going to have to be patient and wait and see. But if we then compare this idea with the legacy markets, now hidden bearish divergence deleted. So Dow Jones, US 30 indexes, great. So go back, fill the gap, continue. Bullish. Okay. S&P 500, same thing. Deleted the divergence. Go back, fill the gap, bullish. Everything is flipping bullish at this stage. Great. Thank you. So we need to say to ourselves that long term, this thing can keep on creeping on higher. But until I have the divergence deleted, like Solana has done many times, I have to be cautious. Okay, so now let's talk alts real quick. Now, this is a little bit of on-chain metric for you guys before we go into all the alts. So if you look at this now, the time that the last time we went into alt season according to the on-chain metrics, we can see that from there it's July 2022 and it went all the way to October 22. So real alt season is about 6 months, 5 months, thereabout, where it really 4 months, where it really starts moving. Other than that, you have these short spikes where the market cap of the alts really start accelerating. And if we look at the market cap from alts now, it's about to overtake Bitcoin. So the alt market cap, if it starts overtaking Bitcoin, is going to be really good because then it's going to press the dominance down. And the trend is suggesting that that's going to happen. So from a market cap point of view and from the Bitcoin altcoin season metric, it's setting up that the dominance should start breaking down, which is ultimately really good. Okay, so if the dominance starts breaking down, we're happy. We're happy to buy alts. I start loving alts and I start forgetting about BTC. Now, which alts? Let's quickly start looking at them. Solana. Using the divergence like we've done, I've explained to you guys on the weekly time frame that Solana is on its way there. Now, when did I say this to you guys? When we were down there. What did I point out? I pointed out to you guys that this long-term sideways bearish resistance momentum has basically been broken now. Okay, so we're entering where we had price discovery to the downside, things really gapped down. Okay, so there's no real trading ever happened within this area. You can agree with me. If you look at this, Solana got created, move, had its first little micro bull run, and then alt season took it off. But out of this entire price action, there's this inefficiency or this gap that's looming there. And that's where Solana's in now. So what can it do? Well, typically what it can do is it can now start creating a trading range within this area, maybe shake out back down this area, whatever the, however you're going to look at this. But this is why this gap is there. It's trying to fill this gap. And these gaps tend to trap price. So what it will do is, if Solana can stay above this $50, it becomes a support level. So let's take that away. Okay. And then our next target for Solana is going to be $80. So let's hope this weekly closes as it is, because then we're going to start going even more ballistic. And then even if we move back down, because we are fighting in this new playground, getting above that line will then start suggesting that Solana can go back much higher. Okay, so looking at on the daily though, and this is why I say it's important to consider the RSI, but don't use it as an exit signal on its own, because what happens is you're going to get strong bearish divergence, and then it deletes it, and then it had another one and it deletes it. And at this stage, it's about to delete yet another one. Now, the daily has to close strong. So if Solana's daily doesn't close strong, okay, say it closes around 48, it locks in yet another divergence. Okay, that's the potential. And if it does lock that in, it means that nothing. It means nothing. It means that for all the Solana momentum that we have, we've basically locked in at $41 as what is going to be considered cheap next time around. So if this closes, when we get back to $41, there's going to be a lot of new buyers wanting to get in. So if you're not in, wait for that to happen and then grab it. That's all that this is telling us. If it falls below it and starts trading, making $41 resistance, means that the market sentiment and everything is going to start changing. Then we can manage that as we go forward. Okay, so that's Solana for us. So Solana on the daily base, the way it's looking at this, I just see more upside. But my homework and your homework is going to be for this weekend is just to see where the daily closes. If it starts printing divergences, it might slow down. Okay, let's move over to the other alts. Now, we've looked at Solana. I've given you guys, I'm just going to move alts. I don't want to look at the Wyckoff analysis. I want to just look at the normal retail price action analysis. So what did I do? I basically explained to you that Solana creates, you get these sideways momentum, or I don't know what you want to call it, but basically what it does is you get this resistance, and once it breaks, it starts opening the door for more. Okay, so now let's have a look at Matic real quick. So this is Matic. It's about to break that door. Now, people love Matic at some stage, and it's true. But look at the RSI. It doesn't tell me that it's over. It tells me that Matic has a job to do for us for the weekend. And remember, you want something that you buy to prove to you that it's worth buying. Okay, so what does Matic need to do? Well, potentially what we have is we've got hidden bearish divergence on Matic. Hidden bearish divergence, guys. We know what this is. Let me just bring up this chart. It's a continuation. Now, typically we're trying to break the bear market momentum that the alts has been going through. Okay, so Matic needs to go get there. But once it's there, everybody else that's bullish, that's looking, is going to say, okay, thank goodness it's now broken this. And at some stage, we will come back and buy. Okay. Now, let's look at the last time we had Solana break its bearish divergence. Okay. So we had this entire move going down here. Then we had Solana break its bearish divergence. At that stage, it was looking there and it broke its hidden bearish divergence. It's going to come back. It's going to create a base. Where's the base? The base is normally at the area where most trading happened prior to this. The area of resistance that now has to be turned into support. And that's what it did. It hovered around that area and then left. So if we do the same basis for Matic, we're trying to say, okay, right, I'm late. I don't have Matic now, but I know I want to buy Matic because it's potentially alt season. Okay, so what do we want to do? Say to ourselves, when is the area of resistance? Matic's right at it. If Matic breaks this and it starts going higher, great. I can come back and I can say, right, where's the area where Matic traded the most with the most resistance? It's right there. Then I can buy that shakeout. Okay, that's it. That's all. I'm not saying it's over. I'm not saying it's there. I'm just saying that Matic has got work to do. Break higher, come back, and then we can buy the resistance. Let's move on a little bit quicker. Link at this stage is just breaking out. It's just flying. And at this stage, technical analysis will not really bring any value to this because this is now buying without reason. Okay. So let it run. Wait for the bearish signal to get confirmed, and then we grab it. This is Cardano as well. So Cardano, there's the signal that we gave you guys to buy. It tested it 4 times after that buy signal. It's now breaking this divergence, this bearish momentum, not divergence, sorry guys. Breaking this bearish momentum. Great. Let it run, be careful, because at some stage, the market will cool down and it will create a test. And then we go. Bull markets isn't this. There is these retraces, and that's when the most money gets made. Because after the big sell-off, all this gain that's potentially going to take you maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it's going to get made back in a day or two, and then some for the next 2, 3 weeks. So remember that. Okay. Did you buy it? Same thing. Look at this. Only now it's starting to break this bearish momentum. RSI is in a scary area. Look at when the RSI is there. There's very seldom a scenario when the RSI goes so high that price goes indefinitely and never ever comes back. Okay. There's a scenario where if you just use the RSI as an exit, yes, it looks stupid. You lost another, whatever the gain is, double in value where it was. But it means eventually that market common sense needs to come back. So the RSI is there. Let it run and just wait for market common sense to come back. It doesn't mean that it needs to go there for the RSI to come back down here to give us some common sense. It could potentially bounce in these areas. And that's when we buy. Simple as that. Okay. Dogecoin. Same thing now. I'm looking for Doge. It just broke out. It's giving you strong bearish divergence. Same thing, but it's holding the support level. So the divergence means absolutely nothing to me at this stage. It's going to potentially continue on higher. Until it trades below this level, think big. But know that, yet again, like everything else, it's going to find a top some stage. Now I've misclicked that. There we go. And then it's going to come back and you're going to get it right where it's at now again. But this time round, that buy is going to go. That's the one that's going to potentially then, remember, the bulls climb the steps. Okay. A move like this, although it feels amazing, this is where most people lose money. They don't make money. I've never met somebody that made all his retirement money in those 5 days and managed to sell. No, they want more. We all want more when it does that. So just remember that. BNB. BNB's got the market cap of Solana and Cardano combined, guys. BNB hasn't been doing anything. BNB is dead. People are forgetting about it. So look at what BNB now broke its momentum. Wait for it to come back there. It's going to come back there at some stage, and we're going to grab it. Okay. XRP. XRP is a tricky one. So I'm waiting for this buy zone over here. RSI is overextended, but XRP could potentially destroy my dreams and even go to these levels before it comes back. So for me, XRP at this stage just got a little bit more momentum than anything else. So it's a tricky one to call. So personally, if I'm not comfortable, I just skip it. There's always the next coin, and next coin there is. Here's DOT. DOT is so early in the move. So you're crying maybe about Cardano running away or Solana, which is flying. Link, it's gone. But look at DOT. DOT was just as popular once. And you know what makes thumping popular? Price. DOT still needs to do this, guys. Still a lot that's going to happen there. Litecoin again. Let's just quickly have a look at Litecoin. Still fighting this area. Wait for the RSI to come and reset. I'm telling you now, we're going to get good buys. Litecoin 114 easy again. Uniswap. Now, Uni, I shared Uni with you guys. I think with you as well. Maybe let me know. I shared Uni. This is the buy setup for Uni. Look at Uni. This is a little bit more aggressive entry. Great. It's flying. It's close to the TP range where I want it to be. But once it's there, I'm selling because I know even if it goes higher, there will be some sort of a retrace, some move there. Okay. Just going to move that back, put it back there. Okay. So Shiba Inu. Look at SHIB real quick. Still early, guys. So these can still all move. But look at the RSI. They've got jobs to do. So let the weekend. Let the weekend just do its thing. Let's see what this daily does over the weekend, whether it deletes the divergence. It's fine to be cautious. And then we can grab them. Okay, I'm going to head over to the comments. Let's quickly see what you guys are on about. Aave. Let's look at Aave real quick. I'm going to start with Aave. Aave USDT. Okay, now Aave is literally fighting the same battle that Ethereum is fighting at the moment, and Ethereum won. Okay, so Aave is sitting right at the top there, but look at the RSI. So I'm just going to switch to line tool just to give you a little guidance. There, okay. Now, what are we doing? Sitting there. We're sitting there. Okay, so is it bearish? Hell no. Any retrace from where it's at now to there, Aave at 86 is a buy, because potentially the momentum's going to go. And it's only once we lose this, Aave becomes bearish. So it's up to you to decide how aggressive you would want to be. But that's the nature of the market we're in. That's the aggressiveness of what is happening at the moment. There's the momentum. So you know what's the hardest thing for a retail trader is once this happens and it goes back above that line and just screws everybody over. Okay. Let's see what else. Let's look at gosh. Okay. So at this stage, this thing's actually looking really good. Okay. It's now sold off. It's mid momentum. Let's quickly move this into previous range. And this one, you're going to have to maybe take on a smaller time frame. Look at the RSI. It's busy setting up. It's busy getting its foundation. So if I do this, I would say that this is potentially a really good buy. Let's make it simple for you guys to track and follow. This would be typical, the retail momentum that they would want to see. What we can do is we can see that there's always an acceleration of momentum, and this can be the shakeout. So what it's doing now is it's trying to close above the shakeout momentum. Okay. If it does that, it's going to get back up into this range minimum. So anything that it's trying to do, all the bullish momentum it's trying to recover, it's going to try to go there at least. When it's there, you want it to delete the hidden bearish divergence that it will have once it's there. If it does, great, expect more highs. If it doesn't, think that it's going to sell down and prepare for that. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Sand. I've got, not sand, sand, keyboard and me. Let's quickly have a look at sand. Massive liquidation on this one yesterday. Look at this RSI. It's coming back down. Okay, so this one is actually a little further down the road. This is a really good clue for the other alts. Okay, so now I know this is a 4 hour, but look at what it's doing. So this is how hidden bearish divergence tricks a lot of people. Okay, so what do we do? So you create your first a strong bearish divergence, higher high, lower high. Okay, but what does price not do? Remember, this is what I'm trying to teach you guys, just to help you make sure to capitalize as much as you can. What does price do? Doesn't fall. Once it goes higher, gosh, we were just now talking about a gosh. It doesn't fall below that area. And if it does, oh shit, then it's bearish. Okay. What does it do again? It creates yet another divergence. Okay. Falls below it. Stays above the 50%. Fills this inefficiency. This gap is your clue. 50% of the candle that makes the higher high, that's your buy. Stop below that level. And you take the risk whether it's going to go higher. Now let's see again. It creates yet another divergence. Falls below, does exactly the same. Now, this is one big swoop, 50% of the move that makes the higher high. That's the buy zone. And it does it again. And now it keeps on running. So that's how divergence can trick people into getting in and getting out too soon. So that's why a lot of people give up on this. But you need to understand that divergence is just telling you that there's an imbalance between buyers and sellers and that the reversal is imminent. It doesn't mean the trend's changing. And it's that type of move that I'm expecting for the other alts, the ones that I'm saying, just wait for this. They're all setting up these kind of moves. Wait for them to play out, and then we'll grab the buy. Okay. Thanks for that one. It's a really good one to have a look at. Let's see what else. I want to look at somebody that is actually what I wanted to do. Is talk to you about the comments yesterday. I think there was a coin in there as well. Thanks so much, guys, for reaching out and sending in some good comments and stuff. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go through this and I will reply to each and every one of them. I really like you guys talking to me. Okay, so Magic says, thanks for the explanation. You kind of understand what I mean. So I'm not saying it's over. I'm saying enjoying the run, but I'm saying to you guys, you just need to keep an eye on this because we're heading into an area where at some stage it's going to work. At some stage it's going to just affect the late buyers, and then we wait to buy. That's all that it is. Okay. Everything is pointing bullish. Everything is bullish as hell. So let's buy the fear from them. Let's buy their loss, and then let's ride this thing up till wherever it wants to go. I'll do one more coin, and then we'll end. So let's quickly see which one should I be looking at. CROs, potential, EGLD. Let's quickly have a look at this one. EGLD. Go back to the daily time frame, and let's quickly have a look at this one. Okay. It's carbon copy of everything. You can see how the market sentiment is encapsulated in the print. It's moved past now. It's deleted all hidden bearish divergences. This thing is bullish now. Okay, great. Now, after this bullish move, what needs to happen? Let's go to the monthly time frame. It probably will give you the biggest clue ever. Okay, it's not giving me the divergence. I thought I would be lucky, and it's going to give the divergence there, but it didn't. Let's say maybe the weekly does that. Give me that. No, come on, EGLD, you screw me over. Okay, but basically, what I'm trying to point to is that these points where the market sold off aggressively and the decision was made, that's potentially where price is going to go back. Enjoy this. I'm happy for you if you're in it. Okay. Well, I'm only happy for you if you're in it if you bought there. If you bought up here, see this as your chance to farm for more. Okay. Don't sell now. That's not what I'm trying to say to you. Don't sell now. What you need to do is flip over to the daily time frame. This is your job. It's your investment. You need to do this. I will follow this every day with you guys, and we can come and look at these things because that's where the money is not going to start going to. But you keep your eyes on this momentum. And once this thing, it can chop. It can chop as much as it wants to. An altcoin is nothing like, it's almost identical to having a leveraged Bitcoin trade. Okay. It's going to be volatile as shit. But once it starts making higher highs again, okay, and that RSI tells you it's doing the opposite. Wait for the break of that support, and then you get out. Simple as that. In order to get out to the top, you're going to have to always risk a little bit. You can't just sell the top of the wick. In order to get into the bottom, you have to risk a little bit to make sure that it is a bottom, and that's exactly the same. So looking at this, look at how this RSI is resetting already. This is bullish. Potentially going to create a triangle pattern or whatever the case might be. These retail patterns, you guys need to understand that I might draw it like this now. Okay? Because that's just logically what everybody else is going to be looking at. But ultimately, that wick can do this. So what it can do is it can literally do this, go there, come back. And now I have a new triangle and bounce. And then what it will do is potentially flip what was support that's lost, which it's trying to regain now, back into support, meaning it's going to do this and come back there, shake people out, go to that 50% of the candle that makes the higher high, come back above this level, and then break out. And then obviously what then normally happens is when we're in a situation like that, where's my time? Top to where the cross is. That normally happens around 70% of the triangle. That's what the triangle does. Okay. So use the triangle, use your 70% time fib. That's your greatest ally. And for most of the time, it's going to serve you well. There's obviously outliers to any strategy. Okay. So JJ Doc is asking you guys to hit the likes on his behalf. He's apparently not going to watch the stream again if you don't hit the likes. And Soul, Phantom, and all these things, I would love to keep on going forever, but I kind of need to draw the line on the video feed here somewhere. So we continue on with your coins come Monday, but they will probably all look the same. Maybe, okay, Soul, you've bent my arm. I will break my own rule and I'll do one more. Let's quickly do Phantom, because I'm interested to see what it looks like as well. I haven't looked at it today. So Phantom USDT. Okay, daily time frame. I'm almost scared to say it's going to have a little line and we're going to draw again. There it is. And we broke the line. That's all that it is, guys. Momentum is shifting. That's amazing. Okay. And now what's the RSI telling us? It's just telling us, hey, that at some stage there's going to be a shakeout buy. Wait for the shakeout buy and grab some more. Where will that potentially be as of now? Potentially it's going to be there, because that was where range resistance was. We broke through it. 50% of the candle that makes the higher high, that's the buy. So there's your shakeout buy. If it was true for Bitcoin, down there, let's go to the weekly time frame. Why will it not be true for an alt? Okay. Why will it not be true for an alt that went through the same that went through the same sell-off? There's Bitcoin changing its color, meaning it's turning from bearish to sideways, breaks out, gets that shakeout, and then runs. Hey, bump and run, or whatever the case. No, it's not a bump and run pattern, but basically it boils down to the same thing. Guys, thanks to each and every one of you guys. Dragonfire, Altec, ALBs. I am sorry, guys. I would love to get to each and every one of your coins. But there's always a next stream. See you on Monday. We're going to be looking at this, and then we'll have a really good idea of what Bitcoin did over the weekend and whether we're going to blow up to 42, create another CME gap. I mean, shit can get crazy, and if it does, I'm sorry. Pat Murphy, blessings to you too, buddy. You have a lovely day, and remember, guys, as always, keep hustling.